Hi everyone, just 3 months until the Vancouver annual meeting. I hope you're all jumping on that early bird registration. If you haven't, there's a link below. Please click. I just registered myself today. And we know we're also going to have the virtual option as well for this year. So in person or virtual, but I'd really like to see you there. Before I get into the travel, I want to talk a little bit about change. I know there are still members that are concerned the Aesthetic Society may lose its identity or its culture because of the changes that we've started this year. The Aesthetic Society is uniquely positioned, unlike most societies, to set the standard and shape all things aesthetic. We should be setting the benchmark that defines and upholds best practices for all things aesthetic medicine and in the aesthetic marketplace as a whole. I think it's important that you know that it's this change with purpose, more of an evolution of the society to fill the gaps in aesthetic education. We all know that change without purpose leads to chaos, and that's not the goal of myself, of your board of directors, or of the staff. All of us want the Aesthetic Society to flourish long after we're gone and to thrive. But this is going to require change to evolve. If you think about it, plastic surgeons as a specialty are very adept at change. There are many of you like me that started your careers having to load slide carousels to give a presentation. Remember carrying all those with you on a plane? And God forbid you got a slide in backwards or a slide got hung up during a talk. Now we use PowerPoint. Now with PowerPoint, we're able to give education across the globe right from our living room. So talk about change that made a tremendous impact. And if you've been in practice more than a handful of years, chances are you perform surgeries very differently now than you did as you were trained. So our training has provided us with tremendous capacity for change and a quest to always be learning and always be improving our craft. My partner, Mary Gingras, and I were just talking about this as it relates to liposuction. She's giving a talk on the evolution of liposuction at Baker Gordon next week. Just think about, for instance, tumescent technique. If none of us had adopted that, where would we be? And tumescent fluid was developed by Dr. Jeffrey Klein, a dermatologist, one of our core aesthetic partners. So we already know we can learn a lot from the cores. We just find it easy to forget. So, on to travel. While I only have 3 months left, I've got 8, maybe 9 trips. Unfortunately, in December, I didn't get to go to Argentina, to Buenos Aires for their aesthetic meeting. I had been to ISAPS for a global summit in London and was just congratulating myself on how great my immune system was and how I'd not been sick at all this year. And bam, within 72 hours of returning home, shaking chills, and I could not get on the plane to Buenos Aires. So I had to present that virtually. Again, thank you, PowerPoint. So then, and I've got pictures of the ISAPS meeting below. Then Dubai just occurred. Raving success. They had 700 people at the meeting. We're hoping to look at partnering again next year. So as soon as we have dates, everyone mark your calendars. We'll have a longer lead time and perhaps more people can go. I think it's important to point out 700 people were in attendance, and this is a group of people that we don't normally get at our meetings, and it's a chance again to mold the aesthetic marketplace globally. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to Dubai. I fell victim to 9 inches of snow in Nashville. And if you know Nashville, there are 2 plows and 4 bags of salt. So that was not enough to combat. That's for the whole town. That was not enough to combat 9 inches of snow. On top of that, Houston had an ice storm the Tuesday I was supposed to leave, and that my connection was through Houston. So I ended up presenting virtually on the big screen at 2 a.m. You'll see that below. Also below, there's a special picture of Jamil and one of his new best friends he made in Dubai. You better check that out. So, other check-ins, our virtual Nuances injectable meeting happened on January 12th. 234 people were in attendance. My nurse injectors were on and loved it. If your injectors weren't on this time, be sure to watch. We're going to try and maybe do this biennially. But let's take a look. See what you think. So now I'm going to have to go. I've got to go polish my talks for MCAS, Baker Gordon, the American Brazilian meeting, and then the Northwestern Society. That's in the next 3 weeks. So, because I didn't feel like I had enough to do, just too much time on my hands, I've also moved to a new house. You can see this is the new wall behind me, complete with cats assisting at every turn. So again, pictures of Loki and Thor are below. I hope again to see all of you in Vancouver. So log in, register, and we'll see you there. Until next month.